and everyone else.
Especially Sam.
There we go.
How much do you feel like the way you guys came out first few minutes kind of set the tone tonight?
I think training this week gave me a very good idea that we were going to be ready for the game. But you know, sometimes you still question it a little bit, and I did. So I thought we had a really good performance in LA. So coming back here, this was a big game for obviously many reasons. One being at home and kind of reestablishing our game here at home. It was important for us to do that, you know, and control the game like we did. I mean, it was a total game for us. We really didn't give anything away in the game defensively. We never really lost the ball in really critical areas on the field. We were patient but aggressive to go forward at the right times, and when we did, I thought we were very definitive in our decisions in the game to you know, go to goal and not just with one guy but many. And obviously we were clinical today in our finishing. We were very, very good.
What was it about training that gave you an idea that you'd have a good performance?
Just everything that we did this week. You could just see the guys were, I don't know, maybe it's because there's very few injuries now, and we got the majority of the roster back, and so the quality of the training is at a higher level. And you can just tell that a lot of guys were very locked in, and you know, frankly, there's a lot of competition now in the group. And so, I mean, you look at the end. When you bring on, I said this last week, when you bring in, you know, Namath up front, Johnny Russell on the wing, and then Corzette in the midfield, and you see the energy that they bring, and then you see the combination play created between Namath and Russell for the third goal, the ball that Christian plays over the top, you know, for Corzette to run through on. It says a lot about, you know, the determination of the group, which is good.
Said last week you thought Diego had his best game in LA. What'd you think tonight? How did it stack up?
I would say that the LA game was still pretty good. I know he scored 2 goals tonight, which was great, and they were really good because that's what he's best at, in and around the box there. But a lot of it has to do with his movement off the ball, and that's why he found those situations. He wasn't standing; he was movement. He had movement in the play. He was already running before he even received the ball, and that made him a little bit more elusive to the defender. And then he finished both balls really, really well. And then he had a third one, if you remember, kind of cut across the box to the right, and then he hit another one. There was a deflection save, whatever. But he was very good tonight.
Could you talk about the passes that set up his 2 goals? Looked like they were nice, quick touches. And
when you look at the group of guys that we have on the field, and then the guys we brought in, there's a lot of quality in that group. In and around the final third with the combination play. If you look at the third goal, that combination play is very hard for teams to zero in on and defend when you have the kind of movement off the ball that we had tonight. And we were smart. We managed the game the right way, but at the same time we put them, I think we, you know, I'm sure that they were probably, maybe they were, I know they made some changes for the game, but they were tired a little bit, but this is normal for everybody at this time of year, but I thought that we managed the game really well with possession, and like I said, we took our chances really well.
Do you think part of Rubio's form is that maybe he got a little bit of motivation after bringing in Namath, or is that just a coincidence that he's gotten in form at that time?
I mean, look, I'm sure that's a question you can ask him, but I would say that I think competition, it breeds the best performance of most players, because at the end, you know, if you're not doing the job, then somebody else is there to help it along. I'd like to also think that having more of the guys available for selection to be able to put a team together that I think is closer to what that version is of who we, you know, our best version, probably helps him as well on the field. But he's doing a very good job.
A lot of teams, when they come into Children's Mercy Park, are content to sort of sit back and let the game come to them. Portland tried to do that, but you guys kept finding space. What was it about tonight's game where, even though they were sitting back, you were finding all sorts of space and opportunity?
I always say that if you're going to break a team down that's bunkered in, you have to have quality on the field. And then the other The other piece is you have to have really good movement off the ball, and we had both. We had good quality on the field, and I thought our movement was excellent tonight in the game. You know, we probably could have scored 2-3 more goals as well. I thought their goalkeeper actually made some pretty good saves.
And that little give and go with Johnny and Namath, is that just sort of a sign of things to come, maybe as they get more familiar with playing with each other?
I think both those two guys, you know, those two guys are high quality players. You know, when you can play the game, you don't really need a lot of time to get used to each other, and they both can play the game at a very high level, and it's very evident just in that little play. And like I said, in the ball that Namath played over the top for Croizet, you know, he's got a really good feel as well in and around the box, but also in the open field, he's great in combination play.
Obviously, having a full lineup has contributed to you guys regaining your defensive form, but what else is at play there?
Not losing the ball in really poor areas. I thought for a while there when we weren't getting the kind of results that we normally are used to, I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that we just didn't keep the ball, and our allocation on our positional allocation on the field wasn't the norm. But tonight it was pretty good. Yeah.
Ash, Thad, Marcelo.
Thad, you got anything?
All right, locker room's open. Thanks, everyone.